Okay, good morning. Thought I'd try something a little different today, so we'll see how it goes. I've had a few things come in lately, and I thought it would just be faster. Instead of the pretty pictures and the lovely descriptions, let's just show you because it's really exciting. So the first thing, and I've been using this myself, is the Kluxo diagonal seam tape. That might be backwards on your screen, who knows, but it's great stuff. It's just a little roll of like masking tape, washi tape. It goes right on the bed of your machine. It's got those perfect guidelines for the 1/4 inch seam and the little guideline in the middle. If you're doing little tiny half square triangles and you hate marking them like I do and you just try to eyeball it, you can use this seam tape and you will get perfect, and your 1/4 inch seams will get way more accurate, I promise, because mine already are. And then I got in this little Hummingbird needle threader, and the little needle threader part here is not one of those little tiny wires that come out every single time you thread one needle. It's a little piece of metal that will fit right through that needle eye and grab that little thread and pull it through for you. So if you're a hand sewer and your eyes are going bad, just like mine are, don't ask how bad these are, this will be really, really handy. Elastic came in. I know you're excited. The 1/8 of an inch elastic came in, and I got in a whole pile of black. The black isn't the 1/8, but it's still black, and it's the nice softer kind of black. Then I got in, okay, let's tell you about this. I do have some small Olfa cutters, rotary cutters. This one's 18 millimeters, and I have some 28 millimeter blades. Why would you use one that's so tiny? I mean, these are really tiny. Are you cutting really tiny things? Yes, you're cutting really tiny things. And the other thing that it really works well with is when you're cutting applique shapes and you're just freehanding it, or if you're using the quick curve ruler or the mini curve ruler and you're cutting any kind of curves, they will corner that curve a whole lot nicer. So you just asked me about those because those are great. Then I got in patterns, and honestly, if you saw the pile of patterns that I've got right over there, you'd say you don't need to buy any more patterns. But I also got these nice little bins to organize the patterns in, and they're all categorized, so it's really easy to find stuff, and it was super fun getting them all nice and tidy for you in these cute little wire baskets. I know, it made my day. It was crazy. But then I went and bought more patterns, and I got to tell you, if you remember the quilt that I made for my granddaughter Jade, which she loves, and she was here this weekend, so she helped me clean up the shop. So you might notice the Swiffer has been left in my shop, but a handy sign on my Swiffer that says not for sale. That was put there by Jade. She wants you all to know the Swiffer is not for sale. It's just for cleaning the shop. So the book that I made her quilt out of was one of these 3-yard books. These are really great. They've got like 8 patterns a piece in them, and they're only $22. That's like less than $3 a pattern. And you've got these easy peasy 3-yard quilts. It really is very easy. You can see on the back all the patterns that are in each book. You just have 3 fabrics, 1 yard of each fabric. Boom, you got a quilt. And they're decently sized lap quilts too. And she shows you how to make them bigger. I mean, this lady has a system. It's insane. Really, really insane. But it's really good, like in a really good, insane way. So then, you know, we love Elizabeth Hartman. And I got in some of her more recent patterns, like the Pretty Birds and Norm and Nanette. No one tells me what to do. Gnomes are popular. And then, because we live in the Maritimes, awesome ocean, of course. I mean, you look at this and you think, oh, that's a lot of work, or that's a really expensive pattern. But you basically get all these different blocks in the book, and you could even take one block later and make a whole quilt just out of that block. Like this one in particular has the whale block in it. This whale right here. See that one a little easier. She has a completely separate pattern that's just the whale block. So you get it in here anyway. So you're really getting a whole pile of patterns at once. And then you can blame Susan for this. Susan, you know who you are. The dinosaur pattern. I mean, do you know a kid? Do you have a kid in your life that you like? You know they want a quilt like this. You don't have to make it this big. You can make them a littler one, but they are going to go insane. You make them a quilt like this, you're going to be the best ever. Like the best aunt, the best big sister, the best big grandma. You know it. Boys, oh boys. And because of Elizabeth Hartman's style, there's ones that are also similar. This guy is Art East Quilting Company. He's from Newfoundland, so it's Canadian. And I really want to get in more and more Canadian fabric designers and Canadian pattern designers and Canadian products. So it's really, really important. One of his more modern quilts is the spill quilt, where you can play with color and do transparency. It just makes a little crib size and lap size. And I mean, it's really nice and modern and artistic. Very nice, very sedate. But then we will go to his other style of quilts with cat aerobics for the fitness guru in your life. And then there's Space Bacon, Pigs in Space. Who doesn't love pigs in space? And the classic mythical wieners, again, with the wiener dogs and the mythology. You can have a real, I mean, there's a mermaid wiener dog in here, and if that doesn't sell you, I honestly don't know what's gonna do it for you. You know, I'm a fan of the Yellow Brick Road pattern, so Terry Atkinson came out with another one called the Mini Brick Road. She shows you how to make same sort of deal and sort of design as the Yellow Brick Road, but with mini bits, smaller pieces. I think she uses 5-inch charm squares, so you can make a table runner, you can make a placemat, and you make a doll blanket. I know people come in here looking for placemat patterns all the time, so this is a good option for you. And these are totally easy to make with scraps as well. You just get some coordinating scraps. You don't need to use an actual turn pack. You can just start with your scraps. Done it a lot, still works. And also in the shop, round the corner, in the fabric room, I have hanging up a quilt that I did called Northern Lights. This is the pattern from Jaybird Quilts. She's done it from purple to green. Mine is from greens to browns. If you've seen it and you like it, I have the pattern here. It's way easier than it looks, and it was super fun to make. So there's that. And another Canadian designer, Modern Blended Quilts. I wanted to show you these two because the pattern quilts, the pattern author, sorry, the tea. I just haven't had enough tea this morning. The pattern maker, she's Canadian. She's out west. I've talked to her a couple times already. Really nice. She's all set up to do Zoom classes. So if you wanted to do some sort of class through our shop, that's something I'm gauging interest to see if people wanted to do a Zoom class with this pattern author. We don't have to do this pattern. She has a lot. This is the Barricade Quilt pattern. It is actually pretty easy, and it's pretty nice. So we could have her in virtually. We could have her in virtually to do some classes for our shop. Wouldn't that be great? I know. And I thought this, Just the Essentials purse, was a really great little handy purse to lug around. It reminded me of our shop ambassador, Angela Lawson-Penny, which I'm sure she'll swing by later and leave a comment. She makes a lot of little bags like this. I thought of her when I saw this. And again, remember I said we get placemat requests? Placemat pattern, but Canadian author. And the other option from Modern Blended Quilts is this Christmas in July pattern. It has a wall hanging, a table runner, and placemats. So it's a lot thicker. It's a little more expensive, but you get like 3 patterns in one here. I mean, and she does classes for this too, so we could have her do that. This pattern, if you look really closely, does half square rectangles. That's a mouthful. Or basically a rectangle that's like split this way. And it uses the split rex triangle ruler from Debbie Tucker. So this is a trim down ruler for the split rectangle thingy, the half square rectangles, half rectangle squares. Who knows? It's like a half square triangle, but it's a rectangle. And here's a ruler that you can use to trim it down so they turn out perfect every time. I gotta tell you, I've been sewing for 30 some odd years. I'm not gonna stop and do the math. It's a lot. And the half square triangles, the only way that I can get them to be perfect is either paper piecing for the little tiny ones, or I make the half square triangle or rectangle oversized and then I trim it. It's the only way I can get them perfect. I tell you, I've been at this a while. So something like this will really make it go a lot better. And I don't have any new fabric to show you yet. I'm still getting some in. The Kona fabric is, some of it's on its way. I put in a big order and only a tiny fraction is coming. So that's how backed up all the supply chain is from me to Robert Kaufman and Korea, basically. They're having a hard time filling such a huge demand. So I have literally 3 bolts on the way out of more than 3 bolt order. Like it was big. So they had 3. That's great. So it's coming, and I have just noticed I have one more thing to show you. I'm super excited about it. You just hang on. I will zip over here, and then I will zip back, and you can still hear me talking. But you know how we like Orifil thread? Right, because it's good, because it's cotton. It's Italian. It's like Jimmy Choo, but for quilters, right? And not shoes. So you've got Italian thread, and I brought in some cones of the most popular color that you will use for piecing. If you're new to quilting, usually what you do is you pick a big neutral color like this, and you use it for whatever project you're working on. For all the piecing, you don't have to keep changing threads. You just keep sewing away. I jump from project to project, and I tend to group things if I really do need a specific color, but I usually have some form of gray or white in my thread, threaded in my machine. And I go through a lot of cone type threads, whatever. So these are Orifil. They're only $55, which is actually really, really good when you consider how much is on here. How much is on here? It's a lot. Meters. 5,900 meters. 5,900 meters. That's almost 6 kilometers of thread. What is that in miles? I have no idea. I'm a kid of the 80s. I didn't cover that in school. I went to school when we started to do the metric system, so I learned all that crap. But yeah, Orifil cones. I know, that is so much thread. You would be surprised how little time it takes to go through all this thread if you're like a high volume sewer. I mean, this could just be like a year's worth of piecing for some people. I know it. Is there anything else? It said fabric. We've got more fabric coming. I got more fabric to order. You know what I could do? I could show you the backing fabric that came in because it's gorgeous. And this was a couple of weeks ago, and people who have been in are like, oh my God, this fabric is insane. It's so gorgeous. Some people have been buying it just to do borders, and they've been using it on the front of their quilts. And just because it says backing fabric doesn't mean you can't use it on the front. It's still 100% cotton. The only difference is it's 108 inches wide. That's it. Regular fabric on the bolt, 45 inches wide. Quilt backs, 108 inches wide. Other than that, usually it's the same damn thing. So here we go. What I got was, I'm building up my muscles, lugging bolts everywhere. So this is from Northcott, and this is some of their 108 wide backings. Northcott, the cotton that feels like silk. They are not kidding, because I mean, look at this drape. Isn't that gorgeous? It doesn't have that rustly sound. It's just soft and drapey, and it's ombre, which means it's dark on the selvage side, and it goes all the way to a lighter color when you get to the middle. This is folded in half here, see? So like, imagine that on your quilt back, and that's just the blue, and I have another one that's sort of a bluey purple. This one has a little bit of green in it too. Freaking gorgeous. And what time is it? 9:42. So I'm about to have alerts that say, hey, Andrea, get up off your butt and open your shop because ADD. Let me know what you think. I'm sounding like a YouTube person. Smash that like button. Woo! I hope you enjoyed our morning together. And if this is popular, maybe we can make it a regular thing. I don't know if we can make it a regular, hey, here's what's new this week kind of thing, because it depends on when stuff comes in. But I don't know if you noticed, but I really like geeking out on new products and different things that we have, because I could talk about it for ages. So I kind of like doing this, and I think Emma's going to wake up soon and wondering who the heck is talking. So yeah, that's just me saying good morning. I really, really, really need more tea now, so I'm going to let you go, and we will see each other in the comments. Okay? All right then. later, taters. Bye.